Hi, and welcome to your next Penny Black and Jill Foster PB&J card class. Today I'll be using two new cling sets from the Penny Black Valentines release. This is All You Need and Hearts All Over, both clings, and we'll be creating this pair of cards. This is the first card we'll be creating, and this features a background stamped and inked with distress stains and distress inks. So I'm taking this nice large cling background stamp, and I'm going to begin by inking it with the stain. So I'm starting with fired brick, and I'm doing a mixture of swiping that and dabbing it across the stamp. I want there to be some puddles on the stamp that gives it that nice watercolor look. Now I'm going in with wild honey, and I'm going to overlap that just a little bit into the area of red so we get a transition between the two colors. The next color is peeled paint, then broken china, and then finally dusty concord. And then before I stamp that, I'm going to go back and just really quickly do that red. Since that was the first area that I did, I want to make sure that it's still wet. Now I'm taking white cardstock, just laying it across my stamp, holding with one hand and rubbing with the other. And when you lift, you see you get that fun background. Now the next thing I want to do is to distress the background, and so what's fun with the stains and the inks is that they're coordinating colors. So now I'm going to use fired brick. I'm using the ink blending tool and foam pad, and just starting off the edge and working over the area roughly where I've stamped the red. Next I'll take wild honey, and I am overlapping that a little bit into the red area to get a transition from one color to the next. I'll do that for each color, overlap into the color that's above it. Peeled paint goes next. Then broken china. And then just a little bit of dusty concord here at the bottom. And then all I've done is mount this on a brown note card, add a sentiment and a scallop to the side. Here's the next card we'll be creating. We're also going to be stamping with the stains. This is another cling stamp from the new Penny Black Valentine's release. I'm putting that onto my Fisker stamp press. And then I'm going to ink it starting with fired brick. And this card has the same colors of inks and stains as the first card we did. And I'll stamp that over on the left-hand side and off the bottom of the card. And this is just a heavyweight white cardstock. And I'm just going each time between to clean off my work surface with a baby wipe and then also wipe the stamp down. Now if you have a really damp baby wipe, you'd want to dry off your stamp before you put your next layer of stain on, but mine wasn't too wet, so it was okay. This is wild honey. I'm going to stamp that to the right of what I've already stamped, but moving the stamp down a little bit. Again, cleaning the stamp off before I add my next color. The next color is peeled paint. Stamping just a little bit lower than the wild honey. Then broken china. And then the last color we'll use is dusty concord. And this one we're going to stamp about at the same height as we did that first fired brick stamping. And you'll see that here when I press this down. And we'll just clean off the stamp and the work surface. Now you'll want to give that a second to dry, or you could hit it with your heat gun. And then we're going to add some ink to the sky. This is with the foam pad and the ink applicator tool. And I'm using broken china. And it's a very light layer, just starting off the edge and working my way down. And I'm going about 1/3 to about halfway down on the cardstock. Then I'm going to take old paper distress ink and just start from the bottom and work my way up to that blue. I like that old paper is a real light color. It kind of takes away the starkness of the white but doesn't darken it too much. Now this is a stamped piece. I'm just putting it here on my So Easy piercing mat, or you could use the back of an old mouse pad. I'm lining up the Tim Holtz ruler, excuse my head there, and I'm going to pierce those holes with the thumbtack. And I'll do that at the top and along the bottom of the card. Now this is walnut stained distress ink, and I'm just going to very lightly go over those holes. And since they're a little bit raised, they'll pick up the ink, and then you can see them there even through the busyness of the stamping. And then I'll hold the piece in my hand and just dab that along the edge. Next, I'm going to layer this piece onto another piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to distress that background so that I match up the colors of the stamping with the colors that are along the edge. So I'm beginning with Fired Brick Distress Ink. I'm starting off of the edge and working my way on, and I'm not worried about going all the way down or across the center because I know it'll be covered up. Then I'll take Wild Honey, and I'm overlapping a little bit into the red. Next is Peeled Paint. Then Broken China. And then Dusty Concord. I'm going to ink those edges with walnut stain. And then you'll see here when you lay that piece on top and adhere it down, you'll have the coordinating colors. And all I've done on this finished card is stamped a sentiment and added it using some twine. And here's another look at the pair of cards together. Thank you so much for watching. For details and more information, visit www.pennyblackink.com.